Imagine this. You are standing in the middle of a heated argument. Your heart is pounding. Every word feels like a weapon, every sentence a battle. You carefully craft your next response, determined to prove that you are right. But the other person, they are doing the exact same thing. Neither of you is listening, only waiting for a chance to strike back. And then N steps in. He does not pick a side. He does not tell you what to say. Instead, he whispers something unsettling in your ear. You have already lost. What does he mean? You are fighting, defending yourself, standing your ground. How could that mean defeat? According to N, the moment you engage in this kind of battle, you have already surrendered your power. True strength, he argues, does not come from fighting to be right. It comes from something far more unexpected. So what is this hidden power, and why does silence often speak louder than words? Let's dive into his philosophy and uncover the silent trick that gives you real power. Most people believe power comes from winning arguments, proving others wrong, and dominating conversations. But Friedrich Nietzsche had a completely different view. He believed power was not in words, it was in control. Why do people argue? If you've ever found yourself in a heated argument, you know how quickly things escalate. But have you ever stopped to ask, why do people argue in the first place? Nietzsche would say that most arguments are not about truth, but about deeper psychological needs. Ego protection. People argue because their identity is at stake. Accepting they are wrong feels like losing a part of themselves. The mind resists this at all costs. Power struggles. Many debates are not about facts or logic. They are battles for dominance. Who speaks last? Who controls the tone? Who makes the other back down? Social validation. Some argue not because they believe their point, but because they want to be seen as smart, confident, or strong by their peers. Nietzsche saw these behaviors as signs of weakness. He believed those who react emotionally to arguments are being controlled. The moment you let someone provoke you, you have already lost. Nietzsche's famous idea of the will to power is often misunderstood. It's not about brute force. It's about the ability to impose your will on reality. This does not always require words. Sometimes, the strongest power is the ability not to react. The Übermensch, overman, in Nietzsche's philosophy, is not emotionally reactive like the average person. He does not argue just to win or prove a point. Instead, he chooses when to engage and when to remain silent. Power is not about talking. It's about controlling the entire interaction. Imagine a meeting where two people are arguing. One is loud and aggressive, trying to prove they're right. The other is calm and collected, listening more than speaking. They don't get dragged into emotional back and forths, but when they finally speak, it's powerful, well-timed, and shifts the conversation. Who holds the power here? Nietzsche would argue the person who stays in control, who doesn't react emotionally, always wins in the long run. Silence, when used correctly, is not weakness. It's a psychological weapon. It forces the other person to reveal more about themselves, makes them second-guess their words, and creates tension that gives you control. The Übermensch doesn't just stay silent in arguments. He uses silence as a tool, a pause, a moment of restraint, a well-timed response that flips the conversation in his favor. Historical figures who mastered silent power include Socrates. He didn't argue traditionally. Instead, he used the Socratic method, questioning others until they exposed their own contradictions. He made people realize their errors themselves, not through confrontation. Steve Jobs. He avoided unnecessary fights but orchestrated debates to win people over. When he believed in an idea, e.g. the iPhone's touchscreen, he let others debate until they aligned with his vision. Miyamoto Musashi. The undefeated samurai won duels by unsettling opponents before the fight began. He once showed up hours late to a duel, making his opponents so furious they made fatal mistakes. Modern psychology backs Nietzsche's ideas. Cognitive biases, confirmation bias, backfire effect, make logical arguments pointless. People cling to beliefs, not facts. Emotional triggers make arguments feel personal because they attack identity. The Übermensch avoids this trap. He observes, then decides whether to respond. Calmness is seen as confidence. Studies show composed individuals are more persuasive. Nietzsche wasn't against conflict. He advocated strategic engagement. True power lies in knowing when to engage and when to stay silent. Engage when the argument sharpens thinking, reveals truths, or shifts power in your favor. Stay silent when defending ego, facing closed minds, or when silence itself is a power move. The next time you're about to argue, pause. Observe how the other person reveals their weaknesses. Then choose your words like a master, or don't speak at all. True power is silent.